It's that time of year where we take a look back on the year, and Time Magazine wants to know who you think the person of the year should be. So we'll talk about it a little bit here on today's video podcast. Hey everybody, I'm Chad Hasty, host of the Chad Hasty Show, which airs weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 a.m. KFYO. So here's the short list for Time Magazine's Person of the Year. In 2016, President Donald Trump was Person of the Year. And once again, he makes the short list for this year's Person of the Year. Here's what they wrote about Donald Trump, 45th President of the United States. And Time's 2016 Person of the Year marked his second year in office through navigating crisis involving both himself and his staff, attacking and encircling investigations in implicating people close to him, and enacting several controversial policies ranging from separations at the border to an international trade war with China. So Donald Trump, not for any good reasons, by the way, they put on the short list for Person of the Year. Someone else Time Magazine names as on the short list for Person of the Year, not a person, but instead separated families, which... Really? Separated families? You know, the families down on the border who are coming over illegally. They're being separated, kids being separated from parents. This is actually nothing new. It happened under the Obama administration, but Time Magazine wants to forget about all of that and instead focus on separation of families under Donald Trump. Now, what they also don't tell you is separation of families has gone on in the United States for a very long time. If you are a family in the United States and your dad or your mom goes out and commits a crime and gets sent to prison, they're separating the father or the mother from the children. It happens every single day in the United States, and nobody says a word. Yet, when you break into the country, again, illegally, and the kids are separated for a short time due to U.S. law, that is supposedly a bad thing. So, separated families on the short list for Time Magazine's Person of the Year. Another Person of the Year short lister, Vladimir Putin of Russia. Not sure why Vladimir Putin really has not been up to a lot. He hasn't been in the news except for that his government has assassinated a few more people. But Vladimir Putin is on the list. Oh, yeah, I guess it's because Donald Trump is president of the United States. Robert Mueller, also a short lister for Person of the Year. Again, I'm not sure why. I mean, listen, there's an investigation going on, but Mueller himself has been pretty quiet on this whole thing. Another Person of the Year shortlister, Ryan Coogler. Now, if you don't know that name, he's a 32-year-old Hollywood director who directed Black Panther, which was a box office hit, and it involved primarily a black cast, and that's why Time Magazine wants to put him on the short list for Person of the Year. Listen, I downloaded the streaming version of Black Panther. I went and saw it in the movies. It was a very entertaining film, but I don't know if it broke any new ground. Maybe it did. It was a good film. It was an action film. It was a Marvel film, and those have done pretty good. I'm not sure he broke any glass ceilings or anything else, though, to be considered Person of the Year. This one will really make your eyes roll. Christine Blasi Ford. Yeah, the woman who accused Brett Kavanaugh of sexual misconduct, yet never had any evidence, couldn't remember anything, and she really had no proof whatsoever of her accusations. She's a shortlister for Person of the Year. I don't know why. It makes no sense why she would be on the list, except for Time Magazine writes this about her: she became a symbol for survivors of sexual assault. Really? I mean, listen, maybe something happened to her, maybe it didn't, we don't know, but she never had any proof of anything that happened to her, at least that happened to her from Brett Kavanaugh. So she's the symbol now for survivors of sexual assault. Okay. Let's see. Another person who makes the list. This one, sad story. Jamal Khashoggi. And I'm pretty sure I'm saying his name wrong. He's the journalist who was assassinated by the Saudis. And yeah, he makes the list. Maybe so. But again, person of the year, not so sure about that. The March for Our Lives activist, the high schoolers, the kids, the children from Parkland, Florida, who started the March for Our Lives, the anti-gun kids. That movement was taken over by liberal forces, of course. There was never really any debate amongst those kids. They all hated guns. Their parents hate guns. Their teachers hate guns. Listen, sad what happened at Parkland. Obviously, it was tragic. It was horrifying. But these kids, they don't know what the hell they're talking about when it comes to the Second Amendment. And their leader, what was his name? David Hogg. My goodness. I don't see how, he wins Person of the Year or is part of this group that wins Person of the Year. Now, this one I like. This one is interesting. This is the leader of South Korea, the South Korean president, Moon Jae-in. Obviously, his role, along with President Trump's role with North Korea, and that's why I think Trump has to be a favorite here. Because of President Moon and the bringing together of North and South Korea and the work that he has done, I think he makes a very interesting option for Person of the Year. He wants peace in North Korea and in South Korea. He's the leader of South Korea. I think he would be a very interesting choice. And then Time Magazine wraps up their short list by putting Meghan Markle on the list. Congratulations, Meghan Markle. You married a prince. You became a princess, and you might be Person of the Year. Like, really? Is that all it takes to be Person of the Year? Is you go and marry a prince? Oh, okay. Well, hey, congratulations to you. But I don't know if that's really Person of the Year. Let's be honest. Two people off of this list stand out to me as People of the Year. Obviously, the president of South Korea, I think, is somebody who is in strong contention for Person of the Year. The work that he has done with President Trump and with the North Koreans in trying to bring about peace in that region, I think that is absolutely something that is, one, admirable. Two, how could you not say that's bigger than Meghan Markle? I mean, the fact that Meghan Markle's on the same list as the leader of South Korea when we're trying to bring peace to the Korean Peninsula is just astonishing to me. So yeah, I would say the president of South Korea, obviously a either first or second choice for Person of the Year. But I think the other Person of the Year has to be Donald Trump. And here's why I say this. Who else have we talked about every single day of the year this year? It's about Donald Trump every single day. Whether you like Trump or not, how could you not say he's person? If you talk about one person every single day for an entire year, he obviously has to be in the top two of Person of the Year. Whether it's good or bad, I go back to North Korea and the work on the Korean Peninsula. You look at tax cuts. You look at what's gone on. Even, firing up Democrats in this supposed blue wave, you could credit that to Donald Trump. How he isn't Person of the Year, I don't know. But Meghan Markle, Person of the Year, give me a break. The March for Our Lives kids, no, I don't think so. Christine Blasi Ford, give me a break. It has to be either the president of South Korea or President Trump, in my opinion. And I would lean President Trump just because we talk about the guy every single day. If that's not Person of the Year, I don't know who is. Tune in to the Chad Hasty Show weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 a.m. KFYO.